Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to solve Leetcode problem 63, unique path 2. So this is basically similar to unique path 1. So I'm going to talk about this problem on the base of unique path 1 because this is the code from unique path 1. The only difference is for unique path 2, we have a matrix. It is called obstacle grid. And inside, there are 0 and 1s. So the 0 is for the empty part, no stove. But 1, it means there is a stove. So the problem is asked to let the robot go to this star. So how many different ways? But this stove means the robot cannot go to the stove area. But the robot can go to the right and go to the down side. Yeah, it's also the same. The robot can only go to the right and go to down, but cannot go to the still area. So I'm going to use the DP method to solve this problem. So this is the code from the previous question, unique path 1. So I'm going to change a little bit about this code to make it work for unique path 2 because basically it's a DP problem. The only difference we need to check the stills. What happens if there's a still in any part of the grid? Yeah, now let me change this m and n to the length of the grid as how many of rows and how many of columns. So here should be obstacle grid 0. And I'm going to define this array because this doesn't matter. I'm going to define it as 1 times c for r in raised capital R. Yeah, because this number doesn't matter because there are stills inside. I'm going to update anyway. So first of all, I'm going to update the first rows. So what about the first row? For say in raised columns, how should I update it? So the DP, the first row should be 0, DP 0 C should equal to DP 0 C minus 1. Yeah, this is because for this position, it should be compared with the previous position. If this obstacle, if this obstacle 0 and c not equal to 1. Yeah, if this obstacle 0 and c not equal to 1, so it should be the previous position. Otherwise, so if there is a still, so if the obstacle equals to 1, it means there is a still. So I'm going to have a 0. But here we use the c minus 1. We have to start from the first place. Yeah, and also similarly for the, so this is for the first row, and also for the first column, it's also the same. So for the first column, for each of the rows, I'm going to change this to capital R, and this is 0, and here is the rows. So this one also be the same. This is 0, and here should be row minus 1, the previous rows. And if this obstacle grid R to 0, so for this column, the 0 column not equal to 1, else it is 0. Yeah, but before that, I'm going to check if the obstacle, yeah, if this obstacle 0 and 0, the first place, if this equals to a still, I'm just going to return 0 because I'm pretty sure if here is a still, the robot cannot go anywhere. I'm going to return a 0. Otherwise, it is 1 as the DP array defined. Yeah. So then I'm going to check one by one for all the combinations. And here we need to check if the obstacle R and C equal to 0 or not. If there is a still, it means this part, for this part, it should be, we will set it as 0. Why? Because even the robot cannot go to the still, but we will use this point for our calculation. So what numbers should be used? It should be 0. For example, this is the point we're gonna calculate. Yeah, this one. So this part we can calculate. But here, there's no root going to this part, so we'll set it to 0. So this is why we still need to check the still. If there is a still, so the dPRC will directly set it to 0. Otherwise, we are going to use the unique path 1 method. So the dPRC should equal to the top and left side should plus together. Even there is a still, we know that it is a 0, but here is no still, maybe some numbers. Yeah, so this is basically the entire code. Let me check if I make any mistakes. So this is the row and column. This is my definition of dp, and this is a check for obstacles, and this is for all the loops inside. Yeah. Now let me run it to check if it really works. Yeah, as you can see, it works. Now let me submit it to check if it can pass all the testing cases. Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty fast and it passed all the testing cases. Now let's analyze the time complexity. So because we only define a DP array and the row and column, it is m and n, so the time complexity should be O m n, and the space complexity should also be O m n, and mn not a big number, so it seems okay. Now let's go to the question again to check if the first position, what is the first position? So here I mentioned the first position can have a stone. Yeah, so we are given this matrix. The robot is initially at the top left corner. Yeah, so it means the robot is stat at this corner. This corner cannot be a still. So this is because it is told us the robot has already stand there. If there is a still, how can a robot stand? Yeah, even the question didn't ask. Maybe the robot can also stand here, but we're gonna return a 0 immediately. But what if, like the question, the robot can stand there and there's no still? So we don't need to check this line because there's no still at the first place. So here we can just use this way. Yeah, we can just use it because there's no still. We are pretty sure we don't need to check. Yeah, as you can see, it really works. Yeah, because this place cannot be a still. Yeah, it's wrong. It means it doesn't work. But we can start from the columns, and let's start from the columns and rows from the 0 part. And now let me submit it. Yeah, as you can see, it also works. It means for our check, we didn't check the first place have a still, but we'll start from the 0. It means this is yeah. So if this is not 1, we are going to return that. It is always not 1. So for the first place, we are going to set a 0. Yeah, because anyway, yeah, so this is just a trick. I think it doesn't matter. We're gonna set it as a stone. So let's go back. Yeah, so I think this is more understandable. So if the first place has a stone, we're gonna put it to 0. Otherwise, there are no stones. We're gonna check the second place for the first column and the second place for the first. This is the first row, and for the first column, we are just going to check. Yeah. Thank you for watching. If you think this is helpful, please like and subscribe. I will upload more Leetcode problems like this. See you next time.